Hi and welcome to OTC. I'm your host, Buddy1927. As you can see, I have a new garage. This is a mod I got off of Curse. This is the American Cave Garage. You see the American flag, the U.S. Army insignia, and if you take a look, you got the Army of One logo and all that, which is not historically correct because that didn't start until the 90s. But you get the American flags and all that. I think there's a Canadian version for this also, and a Russian. I think all the lines have it. But as you can see, I just want to take a look. You get the water falling down back behind the tank. You get the little repair area going on. It's a little bit different than the normal garage, but works just the same. Okay, today we are going to be continuing our talk today about the crews. Today we are talking about the new recruits, how to transfer a crew, training and retraining in the major qualifications. Okay, let's talk about new recruits. New recruits are randomly generated by the mechanics and arrive with a preset major qualifications for the specific vehicle compliance chosen by the player. Next, we're going to be talking about moving experienced crew members to a different vehicle. A crew member may be moved from one vehicle to another as long as the move is of the same role with the same major qualifications he already has. The new vehicle is of the same nation and as the one that he is leaving. He will be required to retrain and in the new vehicle. I will describe this in a later part of this video. Next is dismissal. A crew can be dismissed from services at any time. However, remember, dismissal is permanent and cannot be undone. All the dismissed crew members' cumulative experience, training, and any skills or perks will also be permanently lost. You can dismiss a crew by right-clicking on the crew member in the garage view or in the barracks view, and click dismiss icon, and the crew member is permanently dismissed from your service. Next, we're going to be talking about training and the retraining in major qualification. Well, there is a new crew member to a tank, transferring from one tank to the other, or if you want to accelerate the training that the crew member gets, you must go through one of three major qualifications academies. They are the Rapid Course, the Regimental School, and the Tank Academy. These are the major qualification icons that you will see for retraining your crew member. Okay, next we're going to be talking about the Tank Academy. As I showed the icons earlier, these are the academy for the new recruit. Actually, as you can see right here, it says new recruit member. But you got three choices from a new recruit, and also when you are transferring a crew member from one tank to the other, or if you have a crew member currently on your tank and you want to accelerate their training. The first one is the Rapid Course. As a new crew member, he automatically is at 50%, and there's no cost for this training. If you're transferring a crew member from one tank to the other, based on his level of major qualification, it will be from 50 to 80% retained, but the cost will still be free. Next is the Regimental School. In the Regimental School, the training level for the new recruit is 75, so you go from 50% to 75% of the major qualifications currently for that crew member at a cost of 20,000 credits. If you're transferring from one tank to the other, based on his major qualification level that he has, you will get a percentage from 75 to 90%. Still costs you 20,000 credits to train that crew member. Next is the Tank Academy. If you want your crew to start off at 100% trained, this is where you want to go. It will cost you 200 gold, but your crew member will be 100% trained in his major qualifications, and he will be able to start his first perk. Now, if you're transferring a crew member from one tank to the other, Or if you want to accelerate the training from 50% to 100%, you want to keep 100% from the crew member that's been transferred over to your new tank, you select Tank Academy. It costs 200 gold per crew member. So if you have 6 crew members, 200 times 6 is 1200 gold. So it gets expensive after a while if you keep on doing this. But over the time, you can retain 100% of your major qualifications. A note: any crew member that you are transferring from one tank to the other tank, and you go run him through the academy, if you run him through the 50%, 75%, or even the 100%, he will retain his skills and perks. The skills and perks will be great until he reaches 100% of his major qualifications. Then the skills and perks will be able to start gaining levels again on that player. Next, we're going to be talking about the reasons to transfer crews from one tank to the other and reasons to retrain crews. After you have finished grinding and plan on selling the next tank, one thing that you want to do is remove the crew from that tank prior to selling it and send that crew to the barracks and buy your new tank and put the new crew members, take the crew members from the barracks and move them on to your new tank. This is good if you're grinding a line. This way you retain the training that crew member has already had for that line, going up to from tier 1 all the way up to tier 10. One thing I'm going to be doing in this section is actually I'm transferring my crew from my T30, which is a tier 9 TD, and I'm going to be transferring it to another line of tanks in the same nation. The reason why I'm doing this is I already have attained the T110E4, which is the tier 10 in the American Turn TD line, and I already have a crew on there, and the original crew was from the T30 that I did transfer to the E110. I like this tank and I like playing it, but for right now I need some garage space, and I'm also going down the American heavy line, so I'm actually going to be taking this crew. And for the reason is, as you can see, this crew has already experience, it has ranks, and it has 2 perks, except for one that actually has 3 perks. But what I want to do is take that crew from this tank and move them to the tier 8 in the American heavy line, and I'm going to show you how I do this. First, what you want to do is right click on your commander, and it brings up this little menu, which is personnel, send to barracks, or send entire crew to barracks. And I want to go ahead and send the entire crew to the barracks. So I click that, the crew's gone, they're now in the barracks. Next, what I want to do is go down here to my T30, right click on it, and go ahead and sell the vehicle. And to do that, you have to type in a code, which is usually how much credits you end up getting, and it will 1954350, and sell the vehicle. Next, what we need to do is go to the American heavy line, and I need to delete that, sorry, and we're going to upgrade. Since I had the credits and research points already, I'm trying to find the tank. Alright, here's my T29. I already have my T29, and I want to go to the next level. So I hit research, and it brings up the T32, which is what I want to go ahead and purchase. So I take that, and it cost me 100,000 research credits. Click on it. Yes, I want to purchase it, and go ahead. Now I've researched it. Now I can go ahead and purchase it. Since I already have a crew in the barracks, we have several options here. Since I purchased the T32, I have several options. I can purchase for 300 the purchase price is 2,610,000 credits. I can purchase the tank with a garage slot of 300 gold, which I'm not going to do. I can also purchase the ammunition for the tank, which I'm not going to do right now. I can send the entire academy, which through the academy. At Tank Academy, it will cost me 1,200 gold, but my crew members will be 100% trained in my major qualification and able to start their first perk. I can send them to the regimental school, which they will retain 75% of the major qualifications for that tank, or 50% of major qualification training. But I don't want to purchase it with a crew, so I'll check this box right down here, purchase without a crew, and then purchase the tank. Go back to the garage, and we'll go find the tank in my heavy line, which will probably be, it should be, where is it? Oh, there it is, T32. Next, what we're going to do is put the crew members on here. We left click on the crew members and we look for our crew from the T30. Here he is. He has 2 perks, and I'm going to put the crew members on here. Right click T30. Right click T30. Right click T30. Right click T30. And T30. Now I'm going to blow up the crew here for a second again, and as you can see, all this is red, and you can also see the retention is 50%. What I have to do now is actually retrain this crew. Okay, next, how to retrain this crew. What I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on here, go to personnel file, and it brings up the personnel file. I'm going to blow this up for you all so you can see this a little bit more clearly. Okay, as you can see, we went through this earlier, and he has 2 perks and all that. You go to the training section here, and since he was on the T30, and that's, as you can see, that's what he is compliance for, is the T30, and his training is at 100%. What I need to do is move him from tank destroyers to heavies, and there's 2 ways you can do it. As you can see, this is tank destroyer button here, this is the heavy button here. I can either look up the tank itself and mark whatever tank I want to put him on, or I can push this button called called current vehicle. And as you can see here is his retentions that because he's going from a TD line to a heavy line. The retention's a little bit different. I can train him for free at 60%, and he won't lose any of his skills or perks, but he would lose 60% of his major. He only have 60% of his major qualifications, and none of my skills or perks will be gray and will not gain any experience until he reaches 100%. Second option that I have is I can train him in the regimental school. He will retain 80% of his major qualifications, and he'll still retain his skills and perks, but he won't be able to get to the next level until he reaches 100%. But what I am going to do, and this is going to cost me some gold to do it, it's going to actually end up costing me 1,200 gold because I'm going to do it to all the crew members. I'm going to actually train him at 100%, which is cost of 200 gold. When I do that, he's retrained. Now he's at 100% and he is compliant, and he is now trained for that vehicle. Since I'm going down this American line, you can see the reason why I wanted to do this. That way I didn't have to have a crew that is already less experienced. I have now I have a better trained crew for this. The reason, if you decide you want to delete a tank and you have a crew member that is, let's say 83% or higher, you want to be able to keep that crew member. If you don't want to send them to the barracks, if you don't want to put them in another garage, in another tank, but at least put them into the barracks, so that way you retain them and you can go back to the barracks and put them on a different tank, like I did with the T-30 crew. I put them to the barracks and I'm going to retrain them, as I showed you how I did the commander. I'm going to retrain him to be able to be in compliance to the T-32. It's a good idea, especially if you get crews with 100% and one, two, or three perks on them. You want to keep that crew because you never know. You might go down a different line, and you'll be able to take that crew from the barracks and put them, as long as it's in the same nation, put them on a different tank, and that way you already have the skills and perks for that, and you don't have to grind them. Because it takes a lot of battle experience to first get to 100% on major qualifications. It takes a lot of battle experience to get your crews to have skills and perks. And if you delete that crew member that has skills and perks, remember that that's permanently deleted, and you have to go through a lot more battle experience to get back up to the level of that crew member that you have deleted. So it's always a good idea to keep your crew members. If you're deleting a tank, it's always a good idea to keep your crew members if they're 83% or higher in the major qualifications, or if they are 100% trained and have 1, 2, 3 or more skills or perks already on them. That way you can move them, as long as they're in the same nation, to a different tank in that nation. And the better the crew, the better the tank. Just remember that. The better experience the crew member has, the better the tank performs, better you play in the game. What I like to do now is stop right here, and what we're going to be what I like to do is say thank you for watching these episodes. I know they're a little dry and a little boring, but this is information that you need to know. If you like this video series, or even like this particular episode, please like us on YouTube. If you have any comments, please leave them on our YouTube page. I hope this video series is helping people out there, and that's what I want to do, is try to help them play this game a little bit better. What I like to say is have a good day and leave some tanks for me. Y'all, bye.